Okay, here is the 6th video for the 9th BeadALong. Now, I have added a little fluff on mine, little like rosebuds, flowers kind of thing. It's basically only to determine mine against yours as far as when we're all looking at them and stuff. You can add them if you want. It's up to you. I just kind of did some loop-de-loops and added a little poof. So we finished adding the white 11 O's around the crowns on the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move back up to where our 2 little beads are sticking up here at the top. That's for the hanger. Now I will tell you that, I'm going to move the video, there we go. I will tell you that getting back through these is a very delicate job. Be very careful. Do not force the beads. If you don't think that you can get them through, then end the thread and start a new thread up here on the top, because you don't want to break these beads. Okay, so I'm gonna move this one over here. I'm just following the thread around, and you can see that my thread is a little frayed. It's still extremely strong, and then I'm having trouble getting up here like I was just talking about. And I'm also using a thicker needle than you guys have, so you should have a little bit easier time than this. And the reason I use the thicker needles is because I'm very heavy-handed. And so what happens is I bend the needles super fast and super easy, and they get so bent out of shape I go through quite a few needles. But I'm gonna make this one work here. Come on. Get through there. I don't know why it's not going through. Hang on, let me pull that. And as you see, I still struggle with stuff too. I might have to switch to a smaller needle even if I don't want to, because I did get it through. There we go. Okay. So now I got it through, and I'm going to go up to this one. Okay, and go just through that. Now, what we're going to do, and you're going to be turning your work back and forth, is we're going to do a little tiny peyote top here. Okay, so you fill in one, and this is going to be the little hanger. Okay, and then you pick up a bead and you turn your peyote over. And you know, I'm not sure if many of you have done what's called odd count peyote, so this will be another lesson for some of you. Okay, so we filled in this one, we went through this one. Now I can add a bead here, but then what do I do? Right? Because there's nothing to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through this one. And the reason it's called odd count is because one row in this instance has 1 bead and the other row has 2, so it's odd numbers. It's not 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So now my thread is in the wrong spot. I can't obviously go across there. So I'm going to continue to go across over here. And I'll show you how to do a right turn in a moment. Right now we're just getting the thread set, or the bead set. I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to add a bead. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. Again, you don't have to turn it over if you don't want to. For me, it's just easier to do it that way. And now on this one, I'll show you the right way to do a turn for an odd count peyote stitch. So what you're going to do is you add your bead. You're going to go back through this one and the one below it. Okay, do you see where my needle went in? To the stitch below, the bead below, and the center one, which is the one at the angle just below it. Now when I put that bead in place, it makes the right thing, but I have to get back around and turn. So we're going to go up to this one and down, and we're kind of making a little figure 8, and what this does is as I turn it over and I go into this one, I'm now at the right angle to add another bead. Okay. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to fill in the down and go through the up, fill in the down, but now I can't go through the up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this one and the one next to it down, and then I'm going to go up one and down one, and what this does is it turns the thread to the right direction. Now come back, and there we go. Now, just so that you know for this stitch, that's how you do even count or odd count peyote. Now, for this hanger, because it's only 3 beads wide, we don't have to do all those elaborate turns if you don't choose to. You can just go across, you came down like we did before, and then go to this one, again following the path of the beads, and then back in. And what I'm doing is I'm just reversing the thread each time. So see, I'm going to come back and add the 2. Now if you're doing something that's 10 wide, you really don't do this, because then you're going back and forth too much. But instead of going, you do the first step, you add your bead, you drop down 1 and then 1 more. Now once that is done, instead of coming back to go out that side, you can just go straight across. Again, you know, 3 beads, maybe 5 beads wide, not a big deal. If you're anything more than about that, you really need to go ahead and do it the right way, because what happens is you've got so many threads going through the beads that not only will you break a bead, but it'll be so stiff and hard because you're going back through each single time in order to make that turn, or instead of making that turn. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more here, then we're going to stop and we're going to do the loop, and the next video will show you how to start doing the herringbone strap. So we're almost there. Oops, ouch. And I will tell you too, if you hear some noises in the background, I'm sorry. My place here is doing some yard maintenance, and for the last couple days they've been out doing all kinds of cutting the grass, and they've been, remember, I'm in North Florida, so for us it's already been 70s and 80 degrees, and they've been doing edging and planting and backhoeing and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if you just heard or not, but the lawnmower just went by again. And if you notice, I keep pulling it tight just like I would normally. I sometimes do a stitch or 2, but then I pull it nice and tight, get everything lined up. And our goal is to be able to fit our 6-round herringbone strap. So when we curve this over, that's way too small, so we have to keep going. And if you're a little slower at this than I am, no problem, just pause it and catch back up with me. I just want to finish this video with showing you how to end this so that the next video we can actually do the strap in. And see, I was talking and habit kicked in and I did my turn. I didn't even go straight across that time. That turn has become such a part of how I do the odd count peyote. And I don't do a lot of odd count, and not a lot of people do, and the reason behind that is because the turn, if you don't do it right and you don't keep your tension right, will make one side curve, like on a bracelet. So you'll have one side that's tighter than the other because you've done this turn and gone back. And so a lot of people don't use it as much. It also takes more time and thread to turn each time. Now I've recently seen, and I had seen it before, but I never really knew how to do it. I've recently been exposed to a 2-needle odd count peyote, and it actually looks very simple except for juggling the 2 needles. And I think that that's something that a lot of people would probably be a lot easier to do. Again, if you have something that's a 10 or 15 inch or 10 or 15 bead wide, 11 or 15, because you've got to have odd count. But if you're only doing 3 wide, it's not a big deal. You don't even have to do the turns. You just can keep going like I'm doing and go across and come back. And that's not going to make you uneven on one side or the other, because you're actually reversing the order of the thread each time. You're not always pulling on one side or the other. Okay, let's check this. Still too thin. So keep going, and I'm going to give you the count here in a minute. I'm going to try and do this before we run out of time on this video. We're getting close. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it so that I can show you how to do this. You're going to end with 1. Okay. Now, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 high beads. I would do about 17. Okay, so you know what? It's only a couple more rows, and I think I have enough time. So let's just do it. So I have 15. Here's my 16th row. I'm going to hurry through, so please pause it if you need to. And yes, I'm sure you can hear the lawnmower now because he's coming right up next to the house. He's probably looking in here going, what in the world is that woman doing? Let's check this one. Let's add my center bead and check the height. And you're not going to know how much room you're going to need because you have not done this stitch before, but I do. So that's where, again, practice helps. All right, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. One more. Hurry. Gotta hurry before the video ends. I've got that time limit looming over me. So we want 17 high. Okay, so 17 on one of the edge rows. And you're going to end with a center bead, and the more you try to hurry, the less the beads cooperate. Okay, so here's our last one. Now here's how you're going to connect it. So we have 17 high and a poke at the top. Okay, you're going to come down here and you're going to go through, and you want to do this on the back side. You're going to go through that one that we originally did, and when you pull it, it's going to kind of pull tight. You don't need it tight yet. Okay. Now we're going to go through the poke, the top part of that peak. Let me lay it over so you can see better. Okay, can you see that? White on white. Sorry about that. Okay, and then you're going to go through the other, what I call fringe base or hanger base. Now we're going to pull it tight and watch. It zips that right up there, and we have a nice little hanger. Okay, now again, no knots. So we're just going to wind it back through, do a couple of our circles, and then cut it off. Try and do at least 2 circles. Okay, and I'll catch you at the next video.